Do we have strong thoughts on privatizing the United States Postal Service? Trump has basically floated in this press conference he did that he's thinking about taking the USPS private. This is not UPS, this is USPS, United States Postal Service. It's older than the country. It was founded in 1775. Benjamin Franklin was the chief. Revitalized with a free rural delivery at the start of the 20th century. The idea is basically to unite the country through mail. Now, what seems to be a good idea is kind of coming under fire recently because they just run at billion-dollar deficits and have efficiency problems. I think last year it clocked in $9 billion in deficit, so not great. One of the things that they make an argument for is that they have a guaranteed delivery program. So regardless of where you are in the country, say rural Alaska, you by law have to have deliveries come to you, whereas with a lot of privatized countries, not really. I just want to set it up this way. I'm thinking about this, and I feel like it's similar, and I'm open to arguments against. This feels similar to kind of the argument to privatize roads. So with the advent of toll roads, it's kind of like, well, roads kind of famously not very profitable for the government to have, but it's a public service. So I think maybe my instinct would be I'd be open to ways to create it more efficiently within the government. I don't know how I feel about privatizing it because there's already other privatized institutions, and I don't really love toll roads. So I would love to see what are the opinions, Josh, on privatizing.
Okay, so I mean, the biggest thing when you start talking about the Postal Service is that, like, you guys both live in suburban areas or whatever, and so just by the basic geography of it, that there's enough people that live in close proximity to you that it's efficient for other carriers to deliver to you. So UPS, FedEx, they can very much afford to deliver packages to all of you guys in all your neighborhoods or whatever. I happen to live in a very rural area. Okay. So there's only like 9,000 people in my county. And like, there's not that many people within earshot of me. And so when you talk about the Postal Service, it's that last mile, they call it. So getting stuff to me, it's much more expensive to deliver to me because you're driving drop by off someone to me, and then you have to go another mile to get another person. And so that's very expensive. What Trump has railed about is that the other businesses like Amazon have realized this. It's super expensive to deliver to the last mile. So what they do is they lean on the Postal Service. The Postal Service is so desperate to get more money. They're like, sweet, but it's like, it's not really helpful. Amazon's basically getting subsidized by this. Now, when you talk about the delivery thing, I just want to clarify it. We have it in the law so that I get the mail every day at my mailbox here, okay? So once the Postal Service initiates that, where it delivers the mail, it has to continue to do that. It can't stop. Now, my grandmother was a postmaster in Greenwald, Minnesota. They actually did not do deliveries. To get the mail, you'd have to go into town, and everyone had a P.O. box, and you get the mail that way. Once you if they started to deliver, let's say, to all the houses in that town, they would not be able to stop. That's what it means by that promise. And so Trump is like, maybe we should reconsider that promise, because maybe what you need to do is in towns like I have, it might be more economical to say, okay, we're not going to do delivery anymore. You have to go to the P.O. box to get your mail, every day or whatever.
Right.
Now, one of the guys I follow and connect with on Twitter, his name is Fred. Well, he's got a Polish name, so I'm not going to try to pronounce it, but he actually had a pretty creative idea. I think it's very good, because you got to do something to try to reduce the costs, because it's just not sustainable. First of all, what's going on right now is there's just a lot less business mail that's being spent. Business mail was definitely subsidizing everything. And people, all that junk mail you kind of complain about and throw into the trash. That's the only reason it's been affordable to deliver, to maintain the Postal Service for the last 30, 40 years, to be able to get, that little Christmas card you get from mom and dad or whatever. Well, business mail has been going down, down, and down, and down, because businesses can just advertise through the internet. It's much more efficient. So, the amount of business mail, it's been reduced. It's nothing like it was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So this guy, Fred Walziak, whatever, his idea was to say, well, maybe we privatize it, maybe we don't, but we should at least consider delivering residential mail every other day. So what you do is you basically look at all the routes the Postal Service has, and you say, okay, these routes are going to be Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and these ones are going to be Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. Right. So you basically reduce the delivery force by half. And if you really want mail every day, get a PO box. So I
Yeah.
thought that was actually a pretty sensible way of trying to reduce the amount. Like you got to find a way to cut costs. And I frankly, if you ask me, would I like the cost of a stamp to double to like $2 or something like that, or would I rather have just mail come 3 times a week? I'll take 3 times a week.
100%. Yeah, I think that from my point of view, privatizing, I like privatizing a lot of different sectors of life, but to me, this makes sense as something the federal government should do because it has to do with interstate commerce. It has to do with people who can't afford the sort of forgotten America being able to participate in the circulation of mail and packages. And so I think that it's more, privatization would make it more efficient just because then you want to make a profit. But at the same time, I'm happy my tax dollars going to something like this if we make it more efficient and just take some of these common sense, measures and perhaps scale back a little bit, like Josh said. Because
it's actually our tax money isn't going to the Postal Service, really, not too much.
Great.
I mean, basically, the Postal Service will use Treasury to borrow money to be able to finance the stuff because it's running a deficit, but it's intended to be an independent agency. It has been since Nixon did that in 1970.
Yeah, there's a board, right?
Yeah.
And
so
Trump
actually, Biden has 3 picks go on the board, but they're not going to get confirmed by the Senate in time. And so Trump's going to have a lot of picks to be able to change the way the Postal Service operates. So
yeah,
maybe
I know Trump had a couple
Doge can take a
I
look
say
at that
this
too.
as a son of a postmaster. I know a lot about that.
You son of a postmaster.
Son of a postmaster, son of a UK parliamentary mayor, Viking.
And a Revolutionary War hero.
Revolutionary War hero.
My dad was a postmaster. I'm editor of The Loop. We're both men of letters.
That's right.
Again, back to that movie Klaus. The movie Klaus is about a postmaster.
Okay.
Sorry. It's
I'm
good.
gonna go check it out. This is the
I'll plug
second
it.
plug this episode.